Hello and welcome to the first episode of Sunday on Masse. I am blah blah and I'm here with other person.
I thought it was the other guy.
Other guy. Other guy,
Oh
alright.
no, other person's better.
So I'm here with other person who's acting very professionally. How are
Yeah.
you doing today, other person?
I'm feeling professional. I'm feeling good.
Drinking anything special?
I'm drinking espresso coffee right now. It's delicious. It's from a place close to me that I won't name.
Is it raising your energy?
It's wait. No, I thought it might be for a second, but no.
That was my penis.
Yeah, okay. Well, keeping it professional. I suppose we should get into why we are doing this particular this podcast, this beginning of the podcast. Do you want to kind of share with whoever is listening the no people that will ever listen to this?
I'll share it with you, other person. So today we are talking about the website in5d.com.
Okay.
So
All right. Okay.
I haven't been on this website in a while. I mean, do you keep up to date with the goings on at in5d?
I don't keep up to date with In5D. Actually, wait a minute. The last time that I was on this website might have been like last year, because
Yeah.
I was kind of like, because a couple of years ago you'd be like, okay, we're looking at all this stuff and there's all this crazy information out there and there's all these amazing like websites and stuff. Of course, as we used to do. But then, over time you're kind of like, I kind of missed that feeling of looking at all of these really crazy things. And kind of coming across all these things. So I was kind of like, maybe like last year I decided, okay, look, I'll just take a look on it, and you do not get the same feeling.
Yeah. Well, is there anything missing from your life now that would have perhaps given you that feeling when you were looking at it more regularly?
Anything missing from my life?
A certain herbal substance, perhaps?
Perhaps, maybe you could be onto something.
Yeah. So I suppose first off we should say, like, if you're looking at in5d.com, I highly recommend smoking some herbal substances.
Totally.
When looking at it, it makes the information a lot easier to digest.
Yeah.
So,
It makes other things a lot easier to digest as well.
Yeah. So, like,
Or to consume.
why are we even talking about this today?
I suppose, like, my idea of why I would like to talk about it would be because it's kind of it's a general starter point for people who maybe, and like for us as well, I think, like this kind of website where you would be like, first of all, coming across strange topics, wanting to kind of open up your mind to things a little bit, tired of the old kind of way of looking at things, and just being like, wow, I really want something new. And
I exactly agree. I think how would you say, on the path to the red pill, a lot of people go via these kind of websites.
Totally.
So it's a good thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I suppose, like, I remember when we were looking at this first, I think it was around 2012, right? So there was a lot.
Oh yeah, no, it was before. It had to be been before because we were like anticipating the crazy 2012 shit.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I associate with in my mind, is all that crazy stuff about people talking about the end of the world and Mayan calendars and all that kind of thing. But and like David Icke's website is another one, and things
Christ,
like that.
yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. So yeah, get off your knees.
Get off your knees, humanity.
Non-comply dance.
Oh
But,
my.
But he had a bit more of it. His website was definitely had a bit more of the negative energy. Like, can you remember those
Totally.
anti-vaccine pictures that people would put together?
God. Like his was really hardcore. Like, I mean, you'd go on there, you wouldn't feel good coming off.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
why I
exactly,
stopped
like,
going on there. Like,
the screaming child with a fucking injection directly into his brain or something like that.
Yeah. Like, it's just really like horrible pictures, and you're just like kind of left like, and you'd see some of those pictures floating out into other websites, but they'd be surrounded by not as bad stuff. But like on his, I really got that feeling. It was like fucking hardcore shit. Like, imagine being him.
Very. I mean, I heard that Rune Soup made a very interesting point about David Icke. He's perhaps more honest than a lot of people in the New Age community.
Oh yeah, he is.
I've heard him say that he's more of like in this line of like strange British mystics, because like I said, he had a genuine crazy meltdown to get him started, like, so.
Yeah, Yeah.
Whereas I suppose this is a good point to jump back into in 5D, because this type of like new age industry as a whole often does prey on certain people who are very susceptible to
Absolutely.
certain themes that they're putting out there.
Yeah.
So very cult-like at times. I mean, I remember the thing that sticks in my mind most about in 5D is an article called something like should have really prepared this one for looked it up beforehand, but it was called "So You've Lost Some Friends, Right?" or something like that. And it was like saying, "Oh, it's like people lose friends, just let them go, cut yourself off from your friends and family."
I remember that article. I read that
Already,
article.
yeah.
I do. And like I remember reading it at the time and thinking it does have valid points, but it seemed a bit negative. It was kind of like when you're changing who you are, like when you go through life, and it kind of had the tinge of when you're becoming more like a person who would enjoy the in 5D experience, then you're going to find people who aren't into that, and it's it's okay to let them go, and I was kind of like like it's probably okay, fair enough. In life, we are always letting people go, because that's just the way it goes. People move on, and but this, I mean, it did seem slightly cult like, that idea. Like, I remember feeling that at the time.
Yeah, it's like in 5D is your social support network now.
Yeah, and kind of other websites that are like that as well.
And in the new age industry as a whole, I mean, like we remember guys like Drunvalo Melchizedek.
Oh my God, yeah, Melchizedek. He is a Melchizedek.
Yeah, he's a walk-in.
Yeah,
he's a walk-in.
Yeah. He's a walk-in. Like we don't even take this into consideration in our everyday lives anymore. I don't think really. Like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely not. But like, this is the thing. I remember having some decent success with trying some of the meditations that he was prescribing.
Absolutely, and well, like that's the thing. It's kind of like it's weird because there's always that idea of an amount of it has to be true, and amount of it is true based on like kind of having tried out a lot of stuff, But like there's some claims there, I suppose, that you just can't define, you can't kind of fact check really. You're just interested in the people.
Yeah, you can't fact check what spirit is you're channeling through. For like, this particular.
Yeah. Like Drunvalo, he was very interesting.
Highly interesting dude. Yeah,
highly interesting.
Wonder what he's up
guy.
to these days.
I do. I wonder that too. I think I don't know. Like the last time I checked in on him would have been a long time ago. Sure. Look, didn't we watch his like all his like the videos he did? Like they're hours and hours long. Like.
Yeah, he was making bank with those retreats to fucking New Mexico.
My God, yeah. I mean, his video collection, I'm sure, cost like $600 or whatever it was.
Yeah, those retreats were like over $3,000.
Not that we bought them. Though we did not pirate them. That is illegal.
Yeah. We did not illegally download his books.
Yes, and we certainly all. I did. Yeah, we read his books as well, but not illegally.
Yeah. I don't remember much of it now. I do remember the double star tetrahedron.
Oh yeah.
The Merkaba vehicle.
Oh shit, son! And weren't we like making Merkabas and stuff?
Yeah.
God, Merkabas. I forgot all about Merkabas. I'm like remembering a past life here. And like, it's actually weird, but sometimes I do feel that way about the past. It's like remembering a past life, because, if, let's say you did have multiple lives, then, me looking back like 10 years ago, I don't remember it, piece for piece. So how could I remember something, if it was like, 100 years ago when I came back or something like that, Yeah. You'd only remember it piece for piece, if even.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking like, I used to read, I'm just looking at in 5D now, and, I'm looking at here, The Secret to Creating in the Fifth Dimension, New Earth News, March 2018, Quantum Multidimensional Energy Overview. like, I wouldn't have batted an eyelid.
I know now. You'd been like, more words.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa Brown.
Oh my God, it's kind of like BuzzFeed in a way. It's like alcohol and negative entities, a cocktail you never want to mix.
Yeah.
It actually says that.
Alcohol and white male entities.
I know, right?
Mix them.
Never mix
but,
those.
Can you remember, other person, why did you stop reading in 5D?
why did I stop? I suppose it's kind of like a lot of things, really. You start looking at other things as well, and then you become kind of more interested in reading those things, and then reading, let's say, in 5D declines slowly over time, and then you just kind of maybe stop going on it altogether, and you're kind of, it's kind of skipping stones. You're just going to the next one or the next one, until you sink.
Skipping stones.
No, but seriously, it's kind of like that. You're just like that. I think that's it. I just kind of wound it down a little bit over time. That whole, I suppose, what was even happening at the time? It was kind of real news, quote unquote. I think that pulled me away.
Yeah. I think I stopped
Was it
looking
Syria?
at it around the time. It's probably around the time that I started hearing about Nigel Farage, actually.
Yeah.
He was on RT and he was on a couple of those other sites. He was doing the odd appearance on Sky News and things like that. And it's around that time that Farage was kind of getting on the European scene. He was obviously already in Europe for a long time, but in our life.
His whole life, I think.
Yeah, his whole life. So in 5D, it came back to my mind recently because it was on that list of Russia-funded websites that was released by those two chancellors over in the USA recently during the election cycle. What do you see that's Russian-funded in this?
But I suppose like what you could surmise from what they're saying, they're just trying to use anything to kind of say that they're trying to destabilize our social situation. There may not necessarily be any proof at all. There could just be Russian people using. I'm sure there's plenty of them who go on to In5D, and support it, just like there's people all over the world.
Yeah, I'm not sure what qualified. I mean, that was the thing about that list, wasn't it? Like, I mean, half the things on there were jokes. Like, James Corbett was on there.
He was on there. Like, I mean, are you serious? Like,
Yeah. So I mean, with James Corbett though, he was getting funding
he loved
from
that.
Mikhail Chossudovsky. Do you remember that guy?
I don't believe
anyway,
so.
that guy did actually work for the Russian government at one point, I believe. But James Corbett's material speaks for itself. I think.
It does speak for itself. And like that's the thing. Just because even RT, obviously Russian funded, haha. But basically, you can go on there and you can take what you want from it. This is the thing. And when you say, they're trying to destabilize us. Sure, there is a threat that people will use information to intentionally try to bring something down, to bring a government down. The US has done it loads of times. They know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, people, if they're smart enough, if they are open to, I could be lied to here, I've got to be discerning, then they're not going to be really tricked that badly.
Yeah, and if it's like, well, part of the thing with RT and like the conspiracy sites supposedly was that like they're telling the truth about the US in a lot of cases.
That's
like
that was the
what
thing.
the US government does, and obviously with the this is why I think this narrative ultimately failed and will continue to fail. It's because it's contradictory to what they were saying about it being to do with Donald Trump. Because that's how it kind of started to come out with. But then it just became a Russian thing generally. Of course, maybe that was the end game for all that as well. It seemed like initially it was like when Hillary Clinton said fake news and all that. That's when all that kind of started heating up. And she was saying it about Donald Trump using fake news. And then at the same time, the Donald Trump's in bed with Russia kind of narrative was going up as well. So, so probably the long game, actually, now that I'm talking out my hoop, is that the long game is probably to just have a generally anti-Russian stance going.
Yeah. Like, I mean, so, like, this is the thing as well. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. I was thinking this the other day when I saw that Russia, Putin, he's there talking about the new missiles that they have and how they cannot be stopped. Like it's a missile that cannot be stopped. Like, you know what I mean? Like, did you see that? I mean,
I didn't actually know.
It's apparently a new type of missile or some sort of technology, basically that is a nuclear. Will have a nuclear element to it, which will be able to destroy, I suppose, a land mass the size of France.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it cannot be stopped by any missile system that the West has. Another person would look at that, the West, like those people, they'd be like, see, look, Russia's the evil one, look at them, Whereas I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, why? Why did he come out and say that? First of all, he wants Russia to be a strong country. But it's because obviously something else is going on behind the scenes. They're being threatened. The proxy war in Syria is going on. Israel getting involved.
Yeah.
And Russia then wants to come out and basically say, hey, look, don't fuck around here because we can do this.
Yeah, it's the
So
great game is still being played, isn't it?
absolutely, the whole time, it is.
Yeah, and people obviously that notion of the great game isn't really even acknowledged in the mainstream.
No, it's not. It's
Uh,
not. It's just, oh, he's bad guy. He's bad guy. Or what I suppose, and we're good guys. And like
yeah, yeah,
it's kind of like it's really, really way more complicated than that.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's kind of weird though. I mean, in 5D on that Russian list as well.
Well, wasn't the thing recently? It was that they're saying now, okay, the Russians were funding or like had bots basically retweeting both far left and far right material. It's just about sowing discord, apparently, and I
believe
guarantee that the Russians are not the only ones doing that.
Hell no, of course not.
The British are probably up to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're all doing it. Like, I mean, seriously, it would be completely naive to think that like only one side is doing that.
Yeah,
You know what
if
I mean?
Obama
Like, come
went
on.
over to England to say don't vote for Brexit, you'll be back at the queue. That's an actual threat.
Yeah, yeah. And also, is that not, I don't know, some sort of interfering as well? He was over there with Brexit, and is that not,
Absolutely.
I mean, let's say Putin came over and he was like, hey, vote this way for Donald Trump or vote this way for whatever. People would fucking lose their minds. But like when Obama goes over to the UK and he's like, vote this way and a massive thing that's going to affect your country, possibly more than Trump is affecting America, then people
be
are
gone
like,
in
oh, it's
4
cool.
years,
Then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool. That's cool. He's a good man. It's like such double standards. Like, it's crazy.
The
but
cool
such is the
president said
world.
this.
I know.
Also, funnily enough, I clicked on exiting the Matrix section of In5D's website.
Ooh, okay.
And the first picture on there is Queen Elizabeth with half her face peeling off to reveal a lizard entity beneath her skin.
I love those ones. I love those ones.
Yeah.
I love these kind of ones. They're like, this is how Queen Elizabeth is a reptilian and all this stuff. This is actually by Greg Prescott.
Yeah. So I remember what he looks like now. He's got the grey, long curly hair.
He's
and
the
stuff
grey
like
long.
that.
Yeah. I remember a picture of him in my head where he's holding up stevia.
Yeah.
He's advertising some sort of stevia.
Luckily for us all, lizards are fleeing while the transformation begins.
It's funny.
I assume that's the Queen fleeing to her underground bunker in New Zealand or something.
Yeah. Now, like, this is another thing I want to just talk about briefly. But so, like, there's all these websites, right? And they're like in 5D, and I would look at in 5D as more of a woolly one of these. So, like, there's alternative, and then there's like people like Project Camelot, people that she talks to, Carrie Cassidy, and like, I view her in a different light because kind of the way, like, the people she talks to, like, they do say like outrageous things, but like,
it's part of the fun.
Yeah, it is part of the. But at the same time, it's like, it's not like money
Support the
making kind
Mexicans?
of way. Well, no, yeah, it's like kind of looking at it in a bigger way. It's kind of like they're looking at it the way I feel from her and the people she's talking to most of the time is they're looking at the grand game, because they're not like, oh, I hate Trump and all this and and all this stuff, and they're just kind of like, okay, I don't, they're saying I don't love him, I don't hate him, but like, this is what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they mean it, and that's why I kind of tend to listen to them. I still listen a little bit sometimes, if I kind of if I had an hour or so, like, because...
Yeah, well, for them, like, Trump would be nothing new, because, like, they were basically saying that all the leaders are evil for a long time, so for them it's just another guy.
Yeah, for them it's just another guy, but... Yeah, I mean, and it is, but like as well, they're kind of looking at it like, the deep state and all these other things that are going on behind the scenes, and like, and they're looking at it like their whole worldview is like this totally different worldview. Looking at it like they know aliens are there, they know that there's information being kept underground, and they know that there's all sorts of stuff. Some people are like reptilian, all this stuff. So their worldview is even completely different. Like when you see it on In5D, it's kind of like somewhat clickbaity.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Whereas for them, they don't have clickbait. They're just like, kind of showing what they believe, and they're interviewing people, and it's weird. It's kind of that's why I would listen to them now. I wouldn't go to In5D anymore. It's too woolly. Whereas at least with people like Project Camelot, I know they mean it at least. So at least I'm getting kind of this view into this kind of totally different world. You know?
And when it's like interviews and stuff like that, there's a range of opinions that you're going to get as well.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. You know, you get like all sorts, and so it's kind of like I think I've gone from taking in everything and being like, oh, that's that video there. That's definitely a real video. That's definitely aliens in that video. To you know, yeah, that's most likely bullshit. But I still want to open my mind to things. You know, but I can't just open it to anything anymore because you know you need.
Well, other person, is your mind open to the message from the Arcturian Council?
Well, it depends what they have to say. They aren't usually very polite, you know. What are they saying? What are the Arcturian Council saying?
They're saying we're not alone. That Morag, guest writer, Morag is saying that Gaia is creation and she's a symbol of all worlds.
Okay.
So that's something new to me. You know, I always thought of Gaia as the Mother Earth spirit, but apparently it's symbolic of all worlds, all solar systems, galaxies, multiverses in time space.
Look, you know, you should know that her path is no different from the smallest amoeba living on her.
Well, well, this is the thing. It's kind of like saying all is everything. You can, you know, it's all the same. You know, this kind of new age notion that it's all one thing. You know, break it down. It's just the same.
I kind of feel though I've tried to think in a way that doesn't kind of have that point of view. But like the more I think about it, I'm thinking, well, like, you know, it is all part of the same thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all part
on one level.
You know, on a certain level it is. It's kind of like it's all just like it's moving around and it's all part of the same place. If is it a dimension, who knows? But like it's all just the same thing. You know, I mean, like I wouldn't. You know, like, I suppose there's that idea of the ocean and one drop of water. I mean, yeah, it's different, or one, I don't know, molecule there. I don't know. It's different, but at the same time, it's all part of the same thing. It's influenced by the waves. It's influenced by or you know, whatever. So I get that point of view.
Let's just hope that we don't apply it to our immigration policy. You know, I mean, that's the thing.
Some people do. I think you need to draw lines.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I was just going to say.
Then put walls on them.
You know, people talk about Russia meddling with these kind of websites.
Yeah.
The CIA has been involved in the New Age community for a very long time, and I think it's because, like, say, just that notion there of it's all the one thing, therefore open borders now. Yeah. That's the one way of controlling a certain amount of people. Yeah. To view things in a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been talking for like nearly half an hour now.
Ooh, have we? We know.
Yeah, it's like 27 minutes.
27 minutes. Okay. Shall we... I suppose we kind of have gone into in 5D a little bit. It's been a journey. And
it was a good catalyst for some interesting things to say.
Definitely. So, you know, just to say as well, the podcast is called Sunday on Masse, and we will be hopefully uploading more episodes.
We will be.
We will. We'll upload more episodes, and we kind of talk about absolutely anything, I suppose. Isn't that right? Blah blah.
It certainly is, other person. And if you want to contact us, just you can email other person, and here's his phone number.
Yeah. Email me at my phone number. Okay. So that's about it for us today on Sunday on Masse.
As always, everything's in the show notes.
Yeah.
Everything.
Literally.
Show notes.
Yeah. Not ours, but you know, just somebody's. Google is your friend.
This is my collection.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for listening, and the music will be playing right now.